last time, over the last 2-3 weeks, we specifically focused on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mission in Medina after his migration, after his hijrah. So I think last week we gave a special reference to Battle of Khandaq. So can we extract some lessons from that? One more time before we move on. Just 1 or 2 lessons. One of the most important lessons is that it marked a significant milestone in Prophet's conviction in challenging the enemy, right? Even though they are relatively few in numbers, but of course Allah the Almighty intervened to help them calm down the situation. Today our focus specifically has to do with the Prophet ﷺ's another activity while in Medina, more specifically in the 6th year of Hijrah. So it is all about Treaty of Hudaibiyyah. What do you remember the title? We all know it, but for the sake of clarity, what do you mean by Treaty of Hudaibiyyah? Treaty Hudaibiyyah. Hudaibiyyah is a name of a place. Treaty, agreement or bond or covenant. So basically from the title we can understand that it is a treaty, an agreement reached in a place called Hudaibiyyah. So let's quickly have this. Treaty of Hudaibiyyah, historically speaking, happened precisely when in the 6th year of Hijrah. It was a landmark event during the formation phase of Islam because it paved way for so many events which were to become the cornerstone of Muslims' success in the future. So it was a pivotal treaty between Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and people of Quraysh, between Prophet Muhammad and the ambassador, the saints, to construct the bond of the treaty. It was precisely in 628. It was a 10-year peace deal made between two sides to decrease the tension between the two cities, I would say, Mecca and Medina, or more specifically between two people, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. More importantly, it authorized the Prophet to return to Hajj the following year. So as we will go down to see within the next few slides, but let's begin with the historical background of the treaty itself. So how did it all happen? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a dream. But before that, let's quickly go back and connect a historical antecedent for the event. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born and raised in Mecca. You all know that. He started his preaching at the age of 40. He and his followers were eventually forced to leave Medina. The immigration to Medina followed the constant and virtually endless brutality and persecution from Quraysh. So they went to Medina, as we read, just to seek for safety net, if you like. So he was eventually forced to flee to the city of Medina, which was approximately 250 miles away, almost 400 kilometers away. Do you imagine the difference? Mecca is very close to Medina. Many people think that way. It's very close, right? So it was some 450 kilometers away. So it was very far. The journey, it was not something very close. And hostilities ensued. After Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was forced to leave Medina, of course, he and his people were having those grievances against Quraysh. So, and for that reason, within the few years, wars ensued between two sides at events such as Battle of Badr, as we mentioned, and Battle of Trench, the one we explored last week. So, after that, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after spending 6 years in Medina, he had a dream. He had a dream. As Allah the Almighty says, لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ الرُّؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ الرُّؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ لَتَدْخُلُنَّ المسجد الحرام إن شاء الله آمنين محلقين رؤوسكم ومقصرين لا تخافون فعلم ما لم تعلموا فجعل من دون ذلك فتحا قريبا. This is Surah Al-Fatih, and precisely for this reason that chapter, Surah Al-Fatih, was revealed basically to signify the relevance, if you like, of this treaty, Surah Al-Fatih. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a dream that he will one day go back to Mecca and do tawaf. That 7 circuit around the Kaaba is part of the critical component of Umrah or Hajj ritual. You get that? So he had a dream that he was making tawaf, that is 7 circuits around the Kaaba. He told his companions. Ordinarily, this news was greeted with spontaneous celebration among the Sahaba. They were all rejoicing because all of them were longing, to go back to make Hajj or Umrah at some point. So Prophet told them, and they all knew that whatever Prophet ﷺ had seen in his dream must one day become a reality. So for that reason, they were all they couldn't wait to see that day. Yes, but for that reason, Prophet ﷺ, as I said, companions were delighted with this development. They had a deep reverence for Mecca, the Kaaba, and they had been longing to do tawaf, to go back to it. As Ibn al-Qayyim says, لا ينظر الطرف عنها لا يرجع الطرف عنها حين ينظرها حتى يعود إليك الطرف مشتاقا. That is, as soon as you leave Kaaba, you will become the Kaaba, that structure. As long as you leave it, you will become, more emotionally and spiritually tied to the room until you go back. Okay, so they left it. They are all longing to go back at some point to make tawaf. So when Prophet ﷺ told them that would happen anytime soon, they were spontaneously celebrating. Hence, in the month of Dhul-Qa'dah, 5th year, precisely after Hijrah, Prophet marched peacefully toward Mecca with a group of some 1,400 Muslims to perform Umrah. He came along with 1,400 Muslims. Look at the number. And what does this tell you? Now Prophet ﷺ has become not only an Islamic leader, but a political leader with a strong base in a world with a well-consolidated power in Islamic State. If he could march with some 1,400 people at that time, this tells us that he has now become strong more than ever. They were in a state of Ihram, so they dressed up in Ihram, we all know Ihram. In a premeditated spiritual and physical state. As you know, if you put Ihram, then there are some, of course, restrictions. You have no right to, for example, cut your nail or hair or something like that, because now we are in a state of spiritual connection, so to speak, with Allah the Almighty. They brought animals for sacrifices ordinarily as part of the ritual. If you make Umrah, so for you to become a part of Tahleel, that is to transform, to transcend beyond Ibrahimism, that is to now enter into a state of, to go beyond the state of that prohibition. So now become in a state of where you'll be allowed to do everything, then you have to sacrifice, to make some sacrifice. Okay? After cutting your nail, so you have to do something else. Hoping that the Quraysh, so they brought animals for sacrifices, and hoping that Quraysh will honor the custom of Arabia. Why did they do that? They came because they came in Dhul Qa'dah. Dhul Qa'dah historically is part of Al-Ashhur al-Hurum. There are some 4 months in which battle is strictly forbidden. Okay, from both sides. Neither Muslims nor Kuffar, including of course the Quraysh, were allowed to engage in battle within that 4-month period, starting from Dhul Qa'dah. Muharram, Safar, Dhul Qa'dah. Of course, the Hijjah was not part of it. So they took Dhul Qa'dah, and for that reason, Allah the Almighty says, "فَإِذَا سَأَلَتَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحُرُمُ فَاقْتُلُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ." Al-Ashhur al-Hurum, they are this 4 months. However, as soon as they arrived at Hudaibiyyah, about 12 kilometers from Mecca, the Quraysh took sides to prevent the entry of Muslims. Realistically, Quraysh had every reason to fear Muslims at that point. Who can tell? Why did they fear? What was the source of their fear? They were alerted that Prophet ﷺ was coming over with some 1,400 people. Of course, they were told they were armed, but actually they were not armed. But the number, they were quite scary with the number. The number of 1,400 people marching towards Medina was a scary event. So Quraysh, from military perspective, they are weak. Economically speaking, also they are weak. So they are afraid now. They were nowhere close to, confronting Prophet ﷺ at that point, at that critical point of their weakness. So the only option they had at that point was to deny Prophet Muhammad ﷺ access to Medina, to Mecca. Prophet and his companions camped. You didn't finish? No. Are we too pushy? Wait a minute. Do you mean to say that you are copying every single line? No. Not like that. What do you do? Only take notes, only important points. So, although it was in the forbidden month, when in accordance with the law of Jahiliyyah, even in Jahiliyyah, in Ashhur al-Hurum, no battle should be fought. Okay, that is why it is called Ashhur al-Hurum. That is qital, battle at those points. Within those periods is strictly forbidden. So can I move? Yes. Okay, thank you. Prophet and his companions, when they were denied access, what they did was to camp a place called Hudaibiyyah, outside Mecca. Okay. So at that point, they sent their ambassador, Quraysh, they sent their ambassador by name Suhail bin Amr, and told them that he did not come to fight anyone, but to perform Umrah. Prophet ﷺ told them that he came in a peaceful mission. It was not like they were trying to launch a campaign, military campaign against him. No, they came to basically perform Umrah. And as Muslims, we have ideals which we defend: integrity, honesty. Prophet ﷺ by far was the most honest man the world has ever known. So he told them, and it was real, credible, and solid, that he came to it, to make Umrah. And it is something we take a good lesson from. That we should protect our ideals, because ordinarily we lose ourselves when we compromise the very ideals that we fight to defend, and we honor those ideals when not only when it is easy, but when it is hard. More especially in this situation, it was a hard challenge. He told them, he decided to stick by his word. Understandably, though I was Quraysh, war has weakened Quraysh, and they have suffered great losses. That was why they were afraid to confront Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For this reason, they decided to conclude. Before that, he told them that it was never meant to be a military campaign. It was just a peaceful mission to make Umrah, okay? And what he meant, and after that, he will just go back home after finishing Umrah. The Quraysh disagreed, sharply disagreed with that. Why? Because they were afraid. Muslims demanded to, the Muslims were now eager because Prophet told them that they will enter. So it was like, let's go. For this Quraysh, enough is enough. We must enter. They told Prophet they should be allowed to enter Mecca at all costs. That was their position. Okay? To enter Mecca by force. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam refused. So there are some moral lessons here. In order not to show disrespect for the Kaaba. Haram, after all, the Kaaba was part, not only part, was the most important component of Haram. So he don't want to disrespect Kaaba by engaging other people in battle deep inside Kaaba. So for that reason, he decided to take the other choice. Of course, they learned it the hard way. Yeah, but at that point, it was the only option available. So he told them that, no, let's make a deal. He tried to consult them, even though some of them are still not comfortable with the position, because they determined to come to fight to the last drop of their blood, okay? But Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is exactly how Muslims should be. No matter how emotional we were, no matter how overzealous we turn out to be, we need to be guided by principles of Quran and Sunnah. Prophet told them that, no, I told you that I had a vision, but did I tell you specifically that we will make it this year? I didn't tell you that. Allah told us all what we saw in the dream, that we are, circulating Kaaba. But who told you that if it this year, specifically in the sixth year? Now they collapsed. Okay, so Quraysh and Muslims finally agreed to sign a peace treaty. That is, what was to become Treaty of Hudaibiyyah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a suggestion that he tried further to consult us, companions who were aggrieved, who are still not comfortable. He told them that this treaty, because it is a 10-year peace deal, okay, so within this, he envisaged that this 10-year period is reasonable enough to make some achievement, to achieve some significant milestone. He said, for example, it is possible that those people might accept Islam. This is just a possibility. There is also another possibility that Quraysh, of course, this is to their advantage. At least they may get strong enough to fight later. 10 years without fight, it will give them enough time to revive their interest in fighting, to consolidate, to train, and so after 10 years they might even grow stronger. If they do not, so he told them that. But after 10 years, if they didn't comply, we will fight them. We will fight them. Two parties decided to resolve the matter through diplomacy. That is, they said, no, you will not enter Mecca. Companions were saying, we must enter Mecca. So now they say, okay, now let's strike a deal. What was the deal? Rather than engaging in physical warfare, let's now resort to a treaty. The treaty states that there should be no fighting for 10 years. No fighting for 10 years, number one. Number two, there should be, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam must withdraw from Mecca, must go back now. He must not move anywhere close to Kaaba. In other words, he must go back with his people, back to Medina. Of course, this was a very hard situation and challenging, not only for the Prophet, but also for the companions. Indeed, it was a frustrating moment. Well, they told them, okay, all you have to do, go back, but next year you will come. What was the secret behind that? What was any wisdom behind telling them to go back now, but next year come back? Any reason? Why did they agree that they must come only next year, not now? At least maybe they will have time to. They know that they are coming next year, so it doesn't matter whether they come back with arm or with peace in their heart. They are ready. You get that? So at least 1 year is enough for them to get ready for that. For whatever, regardless of the reason of their